After age 70, throw away these 5 things for a peaceful and happy life. Life after 70 should feel like a breath of fresh air. You have spent decades working hard, taking care of responsibilities, and making sure everyone around you is happy. Now is the time to focus on yourself. But here's the thing. Holding on to certain things can weigh you down, making it harder to truly enjoy these golden years. If you want peace and happiness, there are 5 things you need to get rid of. And no, this isn't about throwing out old furniture or cleaning out your garage. This is about lightening the load in a way that makes every day feel a little easier. Let's start with the first thing. Old grudges. Carrying resentment is like walking around with a backpack full of bricks. At first, you might not even notice the weight, but over time, it wears you down. Maybe someone wronged you years ago. Maybe they made a promise and never kept it. Maybe they said something hurtful and never apologized. Or maybe the worst part is that they never even realized they hurt you. That can sting the most. But here's the truth. Holding on to that bitterness doesn't teach them a lesson. It doesn't make them feel your pain. In fact, they might be living their life completely unaware while you are the one still carrying the burden. That grudge sneaks into your thoughts when you least expect it. You could be enjoying a peaceful afternoon, sipping your favorite tea, when suddenly a memory pops up, and just like that, your mood shifts. At 70 and beyond, time is far too precious to waste on negativity that serves no purpose. Think about it. Every moment spent dwelling on the past is a moment stolen from your present joy. Those old wounds won't heal if you keep picking at them. Letting go isn't about pretending it never happened. It's about choosing not to let it control you anymore. Imagine how much lighter life would feel without that extra weight. You don't have to forget. You just have to decide that your peace is more important than replaying an old hurt over and over again. It is not about them. It is about you. Free yourself from that burden, and you might just find that happiness has been waiting for you all along. Now, on to the second thing. The idea that you have to do everything yourself. Let's be honest. You have spent your whole life being independent. You have handled responsibilities, taken care of others, and figured things out on your own. Maybe you were the one running the household, keeping everything in order while juggling a million little tasks. Maybe you were the go-to person whenever someone needed advice, a favor, or just a shoulder to lean on. That is something to be proud of. But at this stage in life, there is no rule that says you have to keep doing it all by yourself. Struggling with tasks that once felt easy can be frustrating. Maybe carrying heavy grocery bags up the stairs used to be no big deal. Now, it leaves you out of breath. Maybe fixing something around the house was a quick job. Now, it takes twice as long and leaves you sore the next day. It is okay to admit that some things have changed. The world will not end if you let someone else lend a hand. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You have already done enough. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. It means you know your limits and are smart enough to make life easier instead of harder. Think about it. Would you rather struggle through a task that drains your energy or let someone else handle it while you relax and enjoy your day? Taking it easy does not mean giving up. It means making the most of your time in a way that actually feels good. Life is a lot more peaceful when you stop trying to do it all alone. The third thing that needs to go is clutter. And no, this isn't just about old clothes or stacks of unread newspapers. It is about all the things sitting around your home that no longer serve a purpose, but somehow still take up space. That old blender in the back of the cabinet that has not worked in years, but is still there because maybe one day you will fix it. The drawer full of random keys that do not fit anything, yet you keep them just in case. The piles of mail from 10 years ago that you told yourself you would sort through but never did. These little things add up until suddenly, every corner of your home has something that does not belong. Clutter does not just make your house look messy. It creates stress in ways you might not even realize. Every time you open a closet and see a jumble of things you do not need, it adds a tiny bit of frustration. Every time you dig through a pile of old papers to find the one you actually need, it wastes a little more of your energy. Imagine walking into a room and seeing only the things you actually use and enjoy. No broken appliances. No forgotten knickknacks collecting dust. Just a space that feels open, calm, and easy to live in. Getting rid of clutter is not about throwing everything away. It is about making room for what matters. Less mess means less stress. It means no more searching for lost items. No more feeling overwhelmed by stuff that serves no purpose. Clearing out the excess gives you more space to breathe, move, and enjoy life without distractions. And honestly, that is worth more than any old box of just-in-case items sitting in the garage. Now, let's talk about the fourth thing. The belief that it is too late to try new things. That is a lie. You are still here. That means you still have time. Time to explore, to grow, to do things that make you excited to wake up in the morning. Maybe you always wanted to learn how to paint, but never got around to it because life was too busy. Maybe you have been curious about gardening, but kept putting it off. Maybe you want to learn a new language, start playing an instrument, or even try a new kind of exercise just to see if you like it. Whatever it is, now is as good a time as any to give it a shot. The idea that certain things are only for young people is nonsense. Who made that rule anyway? Learning and trying new things is what keeps life interesting. It keeps your brain sharp and your spirit energized. The moment you decide you are too old for something, you start closing doors that do not need to be closed. You put unnecessary limits on yourself and miss out on experiences that could bring joy, connection, and even a sense of purpose. Think about how great it would feel to accomplish something new just for the fun of it. No pressure. No expectations. Just the pure joy of doing something different. The truth is, there is no expiration date on new experiences. You do not have to be the best at it. You just have to enjoy it. Whether it is learning a new skill, meeting new people, or simply stepping out of your routine, every new experience adds a little more excitement to life. So go ahead. Toss that limiting thought in the trash where it belongs and give yourself permission to enjoy whatever sparks your curiosity. Finally, the fifth thing you need to throw away. The habit of worrying about what others think. If you have spent your whole life trying to meet expectations, this is the time to stop. Think about how many choices you have made just to avoid judgment. Maybe you dressed a certain way because it was expected. Maybe you held back from saying something because you worried what others might think. Maybe you agreed to things you did not want to do just to avoid disappointing someone. Enough of that. At this stage in life, the only opinion that truly matters is yours. If you want to wear bright colors, do it. If you want to dance in your living room with the music turned up, go for it. If you want to take a nap in the middle of the day just because it feels good, there is no reason to justify it to anyone. You have earned the right to live life exactly the way you want. And the truth is, most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to spend much time judging yours. It is freeing when you realize that. Letting go of the fear of judgment makes life feel lighter. You get to make choices based on what brings you joy, not on what someone else might say. Imagine how different your days would feel if you stopped second-guessing every little thing. What if you let yourself fully enjoy moments without worrying about how you look or what people might think? What if you said no to things that do not make you happy and yes to the things that do? That kind of freedom is priceless. At this point, there is no reason to hold back. If something makes you smile, do it. If something makes you feel good, embrace it. If something does not add to your happiness, let it go. Worrying about what others think only steals time and energy that could be spent enjoying life. So go ahead and throw that habit away. It was never doing you any favors anyway. At the end of the day, life after 70 should be about freedom. Freedom from unnecessary baggage. Freedom to enjoy every single moment without the weight of the past holding you back. The best part? You don't have to wait to feel this way. You can start right now. Let go of the grudges. Accept help when you need it. Clear out the clutter. Try something new. Stop worrying about what others think. The result? A life that feels peaceful, happy, and truly yours. How can embracing simplicity and minimalism lead to greater peace and satisfaction in your 70s? Life has a way of accumulating things. Over the years, possessions pile up, responsibilities grow, and expectations from others seem never-ending. By the time you reach your 70s, it can feel like you are carrying a lifetime of baggage, both physical and emotional. This is where simplicity and minimalism can make a world of difference. Imagine waking up in the morning and not feeling weighed down by clutter, obligations, or unnecessary worries. Imagine a life where you only focus on what truly matters. That is the power of embracing a simpler and more minimalistic way of living. The problem starts when people attach too much meaning to things. That old chair in the corner that no one sits in. The closet filled with clothes that no longer fit. The kitchen overflowing with gadgets you forgot even existed. Every single item takes up space, and not just in your home but in your mind as well. Clutter creates stress, whether you realize it or not. When your environment feels chaotic, it affects your mood. Your thoughts feel scattered. It becomes harder to focus on what truly brings joy. That is why letting go of what no longer serves a purpose can be incredibly freeing. Simplicity is not just about clearing out things. It is also about freeing yourself from unnecessary obligations. How often have you said yes to things just because you felt like you had to? Whether it is attending an event you do not enjoy, keeping up with relationships that drain you, or holding on to outdated routines, all of these can add unnecessary stress. The beauty of this stage of life is that you have earned the right to choose what brings you peace. You do not have to do anything just because it is expected. When you stop filling your schedule with things that do not add value, you create space for what actually matters. Minimalism also applies to emotional baggage. Holding on to grudges, regrets, or past mistakes only takes away from the happiness you could be enjoying now. The past is done. There is no changing it. Carrying it with you does not serve any purpose. The more you let go of those heavy thoughts, the lighter you will feel. It is amazing how much energy is freed up when you stop replaying old arguments or dwelling on things that did not go as planned. Letting go is not about ignoring the past. It is about making peace with it so that you can fully enjoy the present. There is also something incredibly refreshing about simplifying relationships. As the years go by, it becomes clearer who truly matters. There is no need to keep up with people who do not bring joy, who only show up when they need something, or who make life feel more complicated than it needs to be. Relationships should feel easy, supportive, and enjoyable. If they do not, it might be time to let them go. Choosing quality over quantity when it comes to friendships makes every interaction more meaningful. Instead of spreading yourself thin, focus on the people who truly care. Another big part of embracing simplicity is getting rid of the belief that you need to keep up with the past version of yourself. Maybe you used to be able to juggle a dozen responsibilities without breaking a sweat. Maybe you prided yourself on always being the one others leaned on. That was then. This is now. There is no need to prove anything to anyone. Slowing down is not a weakness. It is a reward. Taking time to enjoy simple pleasures, whether it is a quiet morning coffee, a walk in nature, or just sitting in peace, is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. Minimalism also means focusing on what truly brings joy. It is easy to get caught up in the idea that happiness comes from adding more. More things. More activities. More excitement. But often, the opposite is true. Real satisfaction comes from appreciating what you already have. When life is filled with too much, it is hard to enjoy any of it. But when you remove the excess, what is left becomes even more valuable. A simple meal with loved ones. A deep conversation. A hobby that brings real enjoyment. Those are the things that make life rich. Financial simplicity is another key part of finding peace in your 70s. It is easy to get caught up in spending on things that are not truly necessary. Fancy gadgets. Unused subscriptions. Impulse buys that end up sitting in a corner collecting dust. The more you simplify your spending, the less stress you will feel. Focusing on what truly adds value means making decisions that support a peaceful and enjoyable life. It is not about depriving yourself. It is about being intentional with where your money goes so that it actually serves you. Health and wellness also benefit from a simpler approach. Instead of chasing extreme diets or complicated workout routines, focusing on simple, sustainable habits makes all the difference. Eating wholesome foods. Moving in ways that feel good. Prioritizing rest. Taking care of yourself does not have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler the approach, the easier it is to stick with it. And when your body feels good, everything else in life feels a little better too. One of the biggest benefits of embracing simplicity and minimalism is the peace that comes with it. There is no more rushing, no more trying to do it all, no more holding on to things that do not matter. Life slows down in the best way possible. You get to enjoy each moment instead of feeling like you are always chasing something. There is no pressure to impress anyone. No need to meet anyone else's expectations. Just the freedom to live in a way that feels right for you. Simplicity also makes space for gratitude. When life is stripped down to the essentials, it is easier to appreciate everything that remains. Instead of feeling like something is missing, you start to see how much you actually have. Gratitude grows naturally when life is not cluttered with distractions. And with gratitude comes a deeper sense of satisfaction. Life does not have to be extravagant to be meaningful. Sometimes, the smallest things bring the greatest joy. There is also a sense of clarity that comes with living simply. Decisions become easier. Priorities become clearer. It is no longer about what you should do. It is about what truly matters. This kind of clarity removes stress and replaces it with a sense of direction. Instead of feeling pulled in a dozen different directions, you get to focus on what actually makes life enjoyable. That might be spending more time with family, pursuing a long-forgotten passion, traveling to places you always wanted to see, or simply enjoying the peace of a quiet day with no obligations. One of the greatest gifts of aging is the wisdom to know what really matters. There is no need to chase things that do not bring lasting happiness. There is no need to carry burdens that do not serve you. Letting go of excess, both physical and emotional, creates room for more of what actually makes life beautiful. A simple, intentional life is not about having less. It is about having more of what truly matters. And in your 70s, that is exactly what you deserve.